So, Mr. Liu, in response to the U.S. expanding export controls on China and placing more Chinese companies on its entity list, China has now, of course, tightened export controls over relevant dual-use items to the United States. The U.S. State Department then condemned China's move as coercive. So how do you view the U.S. response, and how can China, you think, better prepare this time for potential trade tensions with the United States?
I think, in my opinion, the response from the Chinese government is very reasonable and is also very well understood and accepted by Chinese society. As we know, the United States always try to make a trade hegemony against China. They can do whatever they want to curtail or to suppress China from its development, but not allow China to make a right and a reasonable response. This is not the right way to handle all disputes and conflicts. As we know, China's control on some special export items, that is exactly that to tell our partner to say that China is ready to make efforts to improve all these relations with the United States, but we should safeguard our core interests in order to protect our interests of our entrepreneurs and also Chinese enterprises. So in this way, I think that China's control on some export items are reasonable, so could be understood by also the global community. I think no other countries with great integrity that can allow such things happen, like the United States hegemony try to suppress other countries' sovereignty. This is not the right way to solve and to discuss all conflicts we have. So in this way, I think China should maintain its open up and reform, but also give a channel to have more dialogues and discussions. But the necessary revenge or necessary response to make some controls export items to the United States are still necessary, the priority to protect our core interests.
And Mr. Liu, how much will all these U.S. semiconductor restrictions, you think, on China galvanize China's own innovation ecosystem to break these bottlenecks on China's tech development?
I think everything like a coin has two sides, has a negative and a positive. I think that from most of the action taken by the United States has only a negative impact on the global order, especially in the international trade community. So China's response to the United States is very, very reasonable, as I always mention. And actually, China can do its best to make all efforts to have more technical breakthrough in order to get some more high position in the semiconductor. I think at this time, our government, and especially for the four important Chinese end users, they had already clearly announced that we should be careful to import semiconductor or chips from the United States, from the suppliers in the United States. They are not so safe. They are not so reliable. This is a very strong signal that China can rely on its own innovation and capacity. We can do whatever we want to wish to get to all these products. So what the United States is doing now and suppressing China's from its development are encouraging Chinese entrepreneurs to make more innovation and technical breakthrough in order to overcome all these difficulties. And nobody can have doubt that in a few years, in 3 or 5 years, all the difficulties we have today will be broken by Chinese entrepreneurs. This is what we call the Chinese spirit and the Chinese philosophy of overcoming all difficulties, to deal with all these problems and challenges we are facing.
Okay, we are going to leave it there. Many thanks for your thoughts, as always, Mr. Liu.